The night went pretty much according to plan for Tennessee basketball, an 84-36 win over Western Carolina. So the three things we learned in their first game back following that buzzer-beating win in Illinois. I'm Paige Dower. This is the Field Pass on Full Disclosure. The first thing to know following Tennessee's win over Western Carolina was Tennessee did a great job of spreading the wealth in the assist category. Entering the game, they were averaging about 16.3 assists per game. Their season high was 24, but that came against Montana about a month ago. But how the game started, you certainly thought they would get back into the 20s against WCU, and they certainly did that tonight. And how the game started was Zakai Zeigler doing what he does best, feeding the floor, seeing the floor incredibly well, and getting it to his guys in space. He had 6 assists in the first 20 minutes alone. He would continue that trend in the second half where he had another 3 assists, just one away from having a triple-double on the night. But it's how he was able to continue to impact the game despite maybe not having his best shooting night on the season as well. After the game, Darlinstone Dubar said it best that he is the best point guard in the country and he'll impact the game no matter what.
He's one of our leaders. Regardless if he shoots bad, he's going to impact the game, and that's what he did today.
Another aspect where they were sharing the wealth kind of came in a rare sequence where the 4 and 5 were feeding each other. It was a fast break lob to Felix Okpara, and it started with Cade Phillips, who's usually on the receiving end of a nice lob from Zakai Zeigler. Instead, it was him on the fast break who threw up the lob for Felix Okpara, and he threw down the hammer for his second dunk on the night. And he had funny remarks after the game talking about that otherwise rare sequence.
It's pretty good. You know, we like everything we do on the court, we do in practice. You know, it's post to post, passing, and it's kind of rare to see the 4 and the 5 under, getting a steal and getting a fast break. But we've worked on it a lot, so it was a pretty good pass. I hit my head on the backboard, but I just wish he put a little less power on the pass. But it is what it is.
And that's the second thing to know following this game is how Cade Phillips is continuing to develop and sharpen his skills as he's getting a lot more playing time in light of JP Estrella being out for the season with a foot injury. He's definitely answered the bell when it comes to being ready for when your name is called. He has done that through the course of the season, through the first 11 games of this season. We see so many times him having those spark plug type plays where it is on the receiving end of the lobs. We talked to him earlier in the week and he says he's really working on his jump shot. He kind of hangs tough with the team in practice, but that's not necessarily where the team needs him right now, but he has it in his back pocket if they do. What we saw against Western Carolina was he's becoming a much better passer as well, being able to kind of read the defenses and see through the traffic, and that's exactly what Rick Barnes highlighted after the game.
Sometimes he probably takes a little bit too much of a chance, but if you don't pressure him, he sees the floor well, and he's getting where he's making the right read most of the time.
The third thing to know following Tennessee's win, meaningful minutes for Darlinstone Dubar. In his 6th appearance this season, he put in 9 minutes in the first 20 minutes of the game. In that, he was a perfect 5 of 5 to start his scoring night. His first of 4 field goals came from a Zakai Zeigler lob and a Darlinstone Dubar bunk. His lone 3 of the first half came after a Igor Milicic defensive rebound to a fast break corner 3 for Darlinstone Dubar. But that fast break slowed down just enough for him to get his second foot behind that 3-point line. He set his feet, he saw a shot, he took it and sank the triple try. And then what he did in the second half, added on 7 more minutes where he strung together 4 points, a defensive rebound, and a steal. What we take away after this game is how he's continuing to build his comfort level, continuing to build his confidence. The other C is that he needs to strengthen his conditioning. He needs to string together several more good practices to strengthen his conditioning. We saw he was a little gassed throughout this game against Western Carolina, but he was contributing so much, and he did so much to contribute to the momentum of the game. And it's actually what he did on defense that left Coach Rick Barnes most impressed on how he was able to impact the game on the defensive end.
I thought he really tried really hard defensively. I thought he was really locked in there, and that's the big thing we've been talking to him about trying to be more consistent on that end.
Yeah, so a good first win back home on Rocky Top for the Tennessee Volunteers as they improve to 11-0 on the year. We'll be back Wednesday to talk things Lady Vols as they rely on their leadership getting ready for 3 games in 4 days. Tennessee football getting ready for their Ohio State date on Saturday. That is another tongue twister that I find I say a lot here in Thompson Bowling Arena. That will be with Jimmy Himes on Wednesday afternoon, and we'll have some post-game reports possibly coming up after the Memphis game for the Lady Vols as well. So much coming up up coming down the pike on full disclosure. So please make sure you're subscribed and please engage as well. I love seeing your all's comments. But until then, I'll be back on Wednesday afternoon.